I knew Vampire Survivors was making its way to Switch, but I had no intention of making a video about it, or even getting it at launch. Then the game came out and it was $5, and so for less than the price of a caramel iced cap from Tim Hortons, I picked up the most addictive roguelite of the past couple years. And now I've played it so much since launch that I feel like I have to talk about it in a video. There are thousands of videos about this game on YouTube already, but the premise is simple. Fight off waves of increasingly stronger Castlevania-inspired enemies on a huge map. However, rather than a 2D side-scrolling platformer like traditional Castlevania games, Vampire Survivors takes place on flat maps, meaning your character can usually traverse up, down, left, and right freely. And unlike most other games, Vampire Survivors has an incredibly simple control scheme for attacks. There is none. Attacks happen automatically at set intervals. All you have to worry about is moving your character. Collect and upgrade weapons, items, and secrets, and you could possibly make it to the 30-minute mark, at which point the Red Death shows up and does massive amounts of damage to your character. What makes this game a success, I think, is threefold. First, runs are simple. They last a predetermined amount of time, and the waves of enemies are always the same on that level. Second, there's always something else to unlock, some small upgrade or new game mode or secret map or different character, and these unlocks build up the complexity of the game slowly over time. When you start, you won't know what weapons and items to grab, but as you play more and unlock combinations and evolutions, you'll get a much better idea of what you're doing. A few hours after you start, you'll find yourself explaining to random strangers on the street, "I'm not sure if I should level up the Santa Water or the Laurel. Labora is so overpowered, but I know I need the Crimson Shroud to stand its chance against the Red Death." And the third thing that makes this game a success is that death comes quickly. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but so many roguelites often make losing a long affair. You'll hit some critical mishap that you know is the absolute death of your run, but you'll just be able to squeak by. At this point, your run is effectively over. You know it, but you've got to go through the drawn-out process of actually dying. That's not the case in Vampire Survivors, usually. You'll be succeeding right up until you're not, and then you die. So with all that combined, what you get is the classic roguelite addiction loop. Only now, instead of being as addictive as coffee, it's more like premium refined Coca-Cola. If you're still watching at this point, it's probably safe to just tell you to buy the game, clear your schedule, and prepare to die a few times before you start to get the hang of things. Once you do get into that survivor groove, you'll watch the hours evaporate into pixelated mist as you figure out optimal weapon combinations, discover new characters, and just generally have a great vampire-y time. It's very hard to resist the just one more run when you know that you could do it better next time, and that's what gives Vampire Survivors its hook. Just in case you want some sort of solid idea of all the little things there are to unlock in this game, here's a recap of what I've found so far. New characters, new stages, new weapons, weapon evolutions, secret relics on each stage, arcanas, new power-up options, and new game modes for each stage. That should give you some idea of the amount of time that you can pour into this game. Every aspect of it is seemingly optimized to entice you to play more, to try new things and do new things. For instance, if you only ever played the same handful of characters that fit your favorite playstyle, you'd miss unlocking a lot of content. But once you realize that you need to use different weapons to unlock the ability to evolve them, and once you realize that the best way to guarantee that you get any given weapon is to pick a character who starts with that weapon, you'll begin trying other characters and, by extension, other weapon builds. But Vampire Survivors doesn't stop there. No, it does something evil and gives each character a checklist in the selection screen, showing which stages that character has finished and which they have not. Do you know what this kind of thing does to someone with completionist tendencies? Do you? Bottom line, Unless this kind of game just absolutely does not appeal to you in any way whatsoever, there's really no reason not to pick this one up. It's fun, it's got good replay value, and it's cheaper than your last bad decision. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.